Hey friends, I thought that I would take you on a plant walk today and show you some of the things that are out and available to identify here in mid-August. So come on with me and we're gonna look at some plants. All right, here we have our lobelia. This is Lobelia inflata, which is the medicinal lobelia. It is in seed, so these little things that look like balloons are the seeds, which is where it gets its botanical name, inflata, inflate, right? So lobelia is also known as Indian tobacco or pukeweed. It has these slender alternating leaves on a fuzzy stem, and in this plant, all aerial parts are medicinal, and historically this was used as a respiratory tonic. For asthma, bronchitis. It's a really strong expectorant. This plant is also known as pukeweed because it has emetic properties, meaning it can make you vomit, but it's also a full body relaxant. It's a very interesting medicine, and it's a low dose medicine, like 1 drop, 2 drops, 3 drops full kind of a thing. This is another native plant to where I am in Middle Tennessee. This is called Devil's Walking Stick. You can see that it has these thorns here, which is where it gets that name. I've also heard it called Angelica tree or prickly ash, but it has these really interesting compound leaves. So that is one whole leaf. Each whole leaf has tons of little leaflets. And it usually blooms and fruits up at the very top. This is why it's also called Angelica tree. This looks like flowering Angelica. And I'll see if I can't get one that's any closer. But this plant also has an interesting history of medicinal use. Although it's really not commonly used anymore for medicine, you can read about how people used the bark for pain, rheumatic complaints, joint complaints, and even chewed on the ripe berries for toothaches. The unripe berries are toxic though. Okay, here we're looking at goldenrod, which is just about to bloom. Here we have these alternating lanceolate leaves. They're very long and slender with some interesting venation. You can see the central vein, and then the side veins kind of start part way up the leaf. The stem gets hard as it matures and it looks almost red or brown. And then we see the flowers up at the top. These are tiny little flower buds that will be opening very soon. Goldenrod is an incredible astringent. It supports any kind of wet excess conditions. So like think watery eyes, sneezing, post-nasal drip, wet cough kind of thing. And it can also support the histamine response, so it's often used in allergy formulations. This is the bark of the wild black cherry. I hope y'all can hear me over all these cicadas. But it's a very distinctive bark. One of my teachers said it looks like burnt cornflakes, which you can sort of see. Also, when you can see the spots in the bark, there's like sideways, almost like someone took a paintbrush, stroked it over the side. So this will produce black cherries that are edible, and the inner bark is medicinal. It's a respiratory tonic, specifically for irritated and dry coughs, and it does also have expectorant properties, and it tastes amazing. Well, that's all I have time to show you today, but if you liked this plant walk, let me know, because I'm happy to do this regularly here on the channel. Thanks, Sil.